The third college football playoff rankings and bracket are out. I'm here with Stan Becton and Wayne Staats of NCAA Digital to break it all down. What stands out to you after the reveal? Let's start with you, Wayne.
Yeah, I think it's now seems to be a revolving door for who the fifth highest ranked conference champion is. I think we thought it'd be Tulane, and it is Tulane. We'll see if they're going to can stay there longer than the past two teams have been that spot. But the metrics do like they're going to wave a lot, and they had a tough non-conference schedule, so I'm sure that helps out as well. But really, it's all on them now to try to seal it off and win out and get that automatic bid.
Can one of the teams finally not lose after getting ranked? I feel you on that one, Stats, because I mean, Tulane, they lost to Ole Miss, so I guess that's a good loss. You lose to a playoff team. I would love to see them have a rematch in the playoffs. That would be nice to get a rematch in the playoffs, so that's something to look forward to. James Madison, on the other hand, they only have one loss, but, the former committee chair now, he was saying that they don't like their strength of schedule, so can they even get in? Do they need another team to lose and then another team to lose? Like, I don't. What more does James Madison have to do?
I'm curious how far from the top 25 they really are. Are they like 27 or are they like 40? We have no idea.
Exactly.
What do you think about that Texas Tech Tulane game? I know Texas Tech is on the cusp of getting into the top four as a automatic bye. So, what do you see in that matchup? And can you see Texas Tech maybe getting into the top four?
I think Texas Tech could get there for sure. I mean, they have a conference championship game, so that'll help them, especially when you got a team like Georgia and Texas A&M who could potentially lose, because it's almost like they discounted that loss to Arizona State, but it also got a boost now because Arizona State snuck in the rankings at 25. So now Texas Tech, I think they can definitely get that top four. And if they play, it's a battle of tortillas versus gumbo. So I think that one could be interesting.
Yeah. I wonder about that too. I think the thing would be kind of cool if these top four teams stay as is. Committee has shown in the past they don't want to punish teams that lose conference title games. However, if it's a blowout, they're gonna have to do something. But if the Big Ten and SEC are close and Texas Tech looks good in their game, that's gonna be a very interesting conversation about who'd get that. If Texas Tech jumps someone who lost their conference title game, especially if it's like an Indiana or an A&M and it's their first loss and it's competitive. That's gonna be a tough spot to be in. While Texas Tech says, "Hey, we actually won our conference." But the other teams were competitive against let's just say Ohio State, like for Indiana's argument. That's why debates are fun, but also a lot can change before then.
Stan, I want to go back to your bracket predictions over the weekend. You had Alabama ranked ahead of Notre Dame, citing their win versus Georgia in September as why. What do you make of the committee putting Notre Dame ahead of the Tide?
I was shocked, a little bit shocked by that, just because it was a loss to Oklahoma for Alabama that came down to the wire. And Notre Dame, yes, they beat USC, who's on the rise at 15, but until USC potentially beats Oregon this weekend, then we can see how they evaluate that win. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't keep Alabama above Notre Dame as the highest or second highest two-loss team. I knew they would be below Oklahoma because the committee has valued head-to-head week after week after week, so that made sense. But for a team that hasn't lost, I get Notre Dame has a lot of momentum right now. They're big on momentum. We saw that with Miami as well. If you have some momentum, you might have some boost this year. So I don't know what they did that for, but I could see Notre Dame eventually getting over Alabama by the end of the year and like solidifying that for sure.
I also wanted to talk through the ACC side of the coin. Miami obviously is in the bracket, but who do you guys see as being the ACC champion? Because that could definitely change up a lot.
Yeah, probably. I mean, who knows how that conference is going to shake out? I think that the easy answer is Georgia Tech, because even if they lose to Georgia, it doesn't matter for the ACC in terms of getting, winning that AQ spot. And they are not far behind in the rankings, but as we saw, there's some weird things that happen every week in that conference. So who knows how that's going to shake out. The team that looks the best now, Miami, is in theory the AQ in this projection, but they are probably not going to play in the title game. So like it's just a weird that's going to show how like there's still a lot of football still to play.
Because Georgia Tech, they play Pitt this week, and if they win that, they basically secure their ACC championship berth. And UVA, they have a game later because that NC State game doesn't count because that's a non-conference game. So when you do the
Crazy.
math and carry the 2 and subtract 5, UVA and Georgia Tech could make it after all this crazy ACC math. Meanwhile, you got Miami, the highest ranked team, that's out of it, and that's going to be crazy. But yeah, I think if Georgia Tech makes it and they beat Pitt this weekend, then I would go with Georgia Tech just because Haynes King for Heisman. I think that campaign might get a nice strong finish to it in the ACC championship game.
Okay, I gotta know who you are taking in this Notre Dame Oklahoma matchup. That's probable if we look at the current bracket.
I'd go with Notre Dame just because they're able to run the ball with Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price at a level that not many other teams can match right now, and that can slow down Oklahoma's pass rush. I think Oklahoma has a pretty good pass rush, but like you can't really rush the passer if you don't have to pass the ball. So I think right now I got to go with Notre Dame.
I'll go with Oklahoma because they're home, and we saw how much that mattered last year. A small sample size of 4 games, but a lot those games were pretty clear in terms of who came out on top in those.
Well, that about wraps it up for us. We'll catch you next week for the 4th reveal.